This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. In the last video I promised you guys that I would go through the things that I regret, or the things that I've learned massively from that empowers me in the now and that could empower millions of people into the future if they begin to apply the things that I share on this channel. In the last video we spoke about how to empower yourself with the past experiences that you've had in your life, both negative and positive, and turning all of them into positive experiences by making them into learning experiences that have made you who you are today. And you love yourself for who you are today. Okay? You might have hated your past, you might have hated who you were in the past, you might have guilt or shame from the past, but today you're making the change, making everything into something positive inside your past. All people that have been in your life, they're gonna be positive people. All the events that have happened in your life, there's gonna be positive events. Everything will be looked at in a positive light. Why? Because it empowers your now. And what we're after is being empowered. What we're after is creating more power in our lives, because that allows us to become masters of our own destiny and masters of our future. So now, as we say that, what are some things that has allowed me to become who I am today? I would say there's 3 things, and bear with me as they're not really in any specific order, but they really are interchangeable together with each other. First of all, I've got 3 pillars in my life. They are truth, freedom, and family. That's it. Those are the 3 things that I value the most in my life. Truth, freedom, and family. Truth has everything to do with education, which means I'm an educator. My passion in life is to educate people, and when I see people actually having results and changes happen in their life because we simply tweaked one mindset, we tweaked one way of looking at things, we basically help them to make the next step in the right direction. Man, that fires me up outside my brain. It should do that to you as well. In some ways, we're all educators, but some people have principles that literally just work, okay? And those are the principles that need to be applied. Okay, so when it comes to the principles of education, this is one thing that I've learned massively from and that I regret. And that would be the fact that I wish that I had never spent a day in school at all. Now, I might say that college education is the thing that I wish I'd never gone to because, you know, getting into student debt was completely unnecessary, and the way I just spent the money and all that stuff, like, it's just ridiculous how I was put in the mind frame of thinking, get as much academic education as you possibly can and get a good job that stands for just over broke, and then work for 40 years until you retire and live on 40% of that income. Never, ever, ever do that. Okay, if you are passionate about becoming a lawyer, or passionate about becoming a doctor, or passionate about engineering, okay, some things that you absolutely have to have education in order for you to ever be able to apply it, then go ahead by all means, okay? And I'm not belittling you. But pretty much any other study in college is a waste of flipping time. And you need to get out of there as soon as you can because it's a complete waste. You've got no idea how much of a waste it is. But you'll probably notice once you get out of college and you can't find a job. Or if you do get a job, suddenly it might just disappear because of a financial crisis and they didn't really need you. Do you know that the people that they fire first when there's a financial crisis in any company are the people that just graduated and have not developed enough experience to show any form of value to the company? So there you have it. After you finish your studies, people are going to be like, do you have experience? And it's like, no, I just study. Oh, well, sorry, we need someone with experience. And it's like, what? Exactly. It's ridiculous to spend 5 to 10 years of your life getting a college education that's not going to give you squat unless you do the 3 others that I mentioned. I mean, there might be some few others out there as well that could be approved, but in general, dude, if you're gonna be filthy, stinking rich, okay, and I'm talking about increasing massively in power, then you can't just have those jobs. You can't have a just over broke thing. You've got to create companies. You've got to employ people. You've got to have people who do get their education, but who don't dare to create a company because that's risky. You want to be the one who takes the risk because you are masculine, because you're actually moving in the right direction towards masculinity and towards danger, because you know, and it's not really danger when you have an educated risk. Okay? People think it's risky, and it is for them because they're not educating themselves on business subjects and becoming a leader. But when you are a leader and you're actually creating a business, it's not risky anymore. And even if everything goes to hell, even if everything goes down the drain, even if you go personally bankrupt and you lose everything, no, that is for your good. And it's fantastic because it's your past and has made you into who you are today. And boy, are you fantastic. Do you understand? Once you manage to turn it all around and make it into a positive experience, you can now create a most amazing future. And understand that probably 90% of all rich people that went from rags to riches, literally, I would say 90% of them have gone bankrupt at some point in their lives, where they had literally just a few dollars to their names and they had no idea where the next meal was going to come from. Okay? So you're in good company if that's who you are, and you're actually basically moving towards the business aspect of things. College education, complete waste of time. Wish I'd never done it. I wish I'd never spent a day in school. Unfortunately, my parents didn't know about homeschooling, and probably even if there was homeschooling, things would have been very different. I wouldn't be who I am today, so I'm very grateful. No matter what, exactly, it wasn't a regret. But man, if I can share with you guys something, is that don't put your kids in school. It's completely ridiculous. Yes, it's legal some countries, but you know what? I would move out of those countries where it's illegal simply because it's not worth it to waste your child's youth in school. They need to get educated, and here is my tried and true method that I mentioned earlier. The mentor-mentee model, okay? The master and the student model, where one-on-one people are being taught properly through voluntary means to learn the things that they want to learn and master. Man, imagine a 6-year-old doesn't even need to go to school. He can like start thinking about, from 6 to 12, he can be like, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and I like this. Allow them to explore, right? And at 12 years old, that's when you're like, all right, time to decide what is it that you want to learn. And you, as the father, you choose to become really good at the thing that he's passionate about. Or you simply find him a mentor, a master, or many mentors, okay? Not too many, but several that can teach him the things that he needs to learn. And then he takes 1 hour per day or whatever to study the things that other kids are studying in school. And he gets several hours per day to laugh and play and be with friends and do sports and do all the other social activities on the side that he does not need school for. Would you have been more empowered if you had been part of the mentor-mentee model instead? And learning from someone who's already rich, learning from a business owner, learning from people who take educated risks and who are on their way to billions? Wouldn't you want to learn from them instead? Understand that there's an evolution to every single generation of people. When you are learning from a billionaire, you're basically learning how to become a trillionaire, okay? Because that's how the world evolves. We always become better than the next generation because of the information that we gather. And we always find ways of making things better, cheaper, and more fantastic than the past generation ever could. Do you understand what people were struggling with 300 years ago, 500 years ago? Look how things have changed, man. I'm talking to my smartphone right now, to you all over the planet, and the moment I upload this video, we're gonna have hundreds of people who look at this video and like, man, this is pretty good information. How on earth would that be possible 200 years ago? It wouldn't. And don't regret not having gone to college, okay? You should feel very, very good about yourself if you chose to not go to college. Good job. All right, another thing that I regret, or that I've learned massively from, that I want to share with other people, is get your finances right first before you get romantically or emotionally involved with women, and especially kids. Okay, getting financially astute, getting your finances in order, understanding how you think about finances, and understanding how to give, not too much too fast, but to create a passive income for women so that they feel they have time and money freedom. Could you imagine women being allowed their entire lives to have time and money freedom? Okay, this is what we're trying to do, is to unburden women and children so that they can actually live the fantastic life that they were designed to do. The only reason why women are batshit crazy these days sometimes is because they are burdened. They are masculine, okay? When you are masculine, however, the women around you suddenly turn feminine, and you are allowing them to be unburdened by your presence. Okay, you make them feel comfortable by your presence, or uncomfortable sometimes, depending upon what you're trying to do. So anyway, don't get romantically and emotionally involved with women and kids before you're financially astute. I don't know if that's even a word, but you know, to have your financial foundation in place is critically important if you're gonna unburden women. And it's not really for the women and children, even though yes it is. It's for you to be empowered, man. Like, you're disempowering yourself by getting romantically involved too soon, because you're basically gonna have her problems and then your problems, and you're responsible for her problems, which means that you're gonna handle both set of problems, and it's just gonna drag you down in the mud, because the whole goal with business is to solve other people's problems. If you've already got too many problems, how are you gonna solve other people's problems, okay? Okay, that's the second aspect. And the third one is, this one is quite interesting, following the traditions of my forefathers that were not correct. In my case, this would be my religious forefathers. I grew up in a Christian denomination, fantastic Christian denomination. I still love them for who they are today and what they've helped me become, because man, I learned so much from that religion. Oh my gosh. And however, there were some things there that were not correct. Simple as that. And when you understand that there are some things that are not correct, either you could change things from within, where you basically assist the organization to change from the inside. That becomes very difficult when they have people that are directly in tune with God, because you can't really change things from the inside then, can you? Or you can change things from the outside, which is basically using everything that you've learned, right? Everything that you've learned from that path, or from your forefathers, or from your traditions, whatever's been going on in your family, whatever, and then make a change. If it's not correct, if it doesn't work, if a principle that you've been taught for years and years and years on end doesn't work, it needs to change. You can't keep on doing something that doesn't work, because that's going to lead to an exponential decline. You have to begin to apply things that do work in the long run and in the big scheme of things, and that is truth, another pillar. Remember, my other pillar was freedom. If you are part of a religion that does not allow for freedom, okay, free agency, allowing you to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, for your own reasons, because you think it's the right thing to do, then it's the wrong religion. If you are being told by tradition that this is how it is and there's nothing else, and that's what God said, what if he didn't say that? How do you know? Well, you know, for many, many years, I was like, well, it's because I feel it inside. And that's great. But if you feel it inside, remember that emotions are fleeting. They come and go in many aspects as they wish when you're feminine. But when you're masculine, you can actually channel your emotions in order to use your emotions to go directly in line with the universe and channel those emotions and be able to use them for you to accomplish his purposes and your purposes that basically helps everyone around you in the world. If that makes sense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because there's a lot of guys who struggle with having issues and problems. I'll give you an example. My religion was basically wishy-washy when it came to the aspect of making money. Some places in scripture said that it was good to make money. Other places said, it's of the devil because you're searching for gold and money and it's lucre and you can't bring it with you. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard because you can use money to help other people. The problem is when you put instant gratification before delayed gratification. That's when the problem comes. But if you're practicing delayed gratification and you do everything in your life in order to serve other people because you know that if you serve other people, they're going to serve you back. It's a beautiful system, the way it's been created. Man, life becomes amazing. You gotta understand this point. I love this topics because it's taken me years to understand this, okay? And my regret was basically that I never took an outside bird view look at the things that I've been taught all of my life until I got a beginner's mind and basically told myself, you know what? Scratch everything that I've learned. Let's start from the beginning again and let's simply only apply the things that actually work. Because that's the truth. If it works in the long run and in the big scheme of things, guess what? It's probably true. So you've just got to figure out, begin with the end in mind, let's have a beginner's mind, and let's figure out what actually works and what does not work. The things that I do on this channel, they work. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. See you in the next video.